Hello everyone, it's Rob from MotoBob and I'm here today at Cotti Auto Tally in the north end of the Cotswolds. It's a great little biker hangout and they've currently got this bike on display that you can win on Ignite comps. Now surprisingly, it's actually based upon a Ducati Monster 750, but Red Max Speed Shop have done some work to turn it into what has to be one of the best looking cafe racers I've ever seen. I think it's absolutely stunning. So in this video I'll tell you all about the details and then you can buy a ticket through the link in the description. So first up, a little bit about the Monster 750. It's a bike that was introduced in the late 90s to sit between the Monster 600, which was lightweight and easy to handle, and then the Monster 900, which is the original Monster, that's a bit more powerful, but of course a little heavier. The 750 is a compromise, almost a balance between the two. It's almost as light as the 600 and almost as powerful as the 9. And even though it's a naked bike with a fairly laid-back riding position, I think it's a brilliant choice for a cafe racer like this. Firstly, that steel trellis frame, which they've made a brilliant feature of, but also the L-twin engine. Now it's air cooled, so it's got a bit of that old school feel, and it makes about 60 odd horsepower up at 7,500 RPM and about 60 Newton meters of peak torque, just under 7,000. I think that's a really nice power level for a retro cafe racer like this, and it's in that sweet spot where it can still deliver a few thrills, but you can also feel like you're really wringing its neck at road speeds. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the changes that Red Max Speed Shop made. So firstly, look at this tank. I think it's absolutely stunning. Normally the Monster tank sort of fills this V shape on the trellis frame there, but that doesn't really give you the cafe racer look. The bone line that runs through the bike is typically pretty flat on a cafe racer, and so for the tank to dip down here, it would sort of ruin that aesthetic. So Red Max have made this fiberglass tank with this beautiful Monza fuel cap here, and it really does suit the style of the bike. You've got a fiberglass cafe racer fairing as well with the round headlight for that proper retro look. And then they also made this matching seat hump at the back, and the whole thing just flows beautifully, especially in this yellow paint job. Now it's a fairly overcast day today, but it does have a bit of a pearl effect that you'll notice more in brighter conditions. And then also lots of nice detailing in black. So the stripe down the middle of the tank here, Red Max logos at the front on the tank. You've got the 750 Desmo on the back there, and then this retro Ducati logo, which I think they just reintroduced on one of the Scrambler models, but it looks absolutely brilliant on this bike. Now I briefly mentioned the frame. That's been powder coated in flat chrome, as has the swing arm and the linkage, and also the wheels. That sort of natural metal appearance really does suit the era that they were going for with this bike. So that's the big picture stuff, but it's the little details on a custom build like this that really do elevate it. First up, this Alcantara saddle. It's got matching yellow stitching, a suede effect panel on the top there for a little bit more grippiness, and then the Red Max logo embroidered into the back of the seat. At the front end, you've got a custom front mudguard that's been painted to match the rest of the bike, and it also has its own bespoke bracket, which is really neatly done. Now you still get the Brembo brake calipers at the front and the upside down forks, but there are new Akasato master cylinders which should improve the feel a little bit, and they give you some more adjustability. You've also got some Rizoma reservoirs for the front brake and the clutch. They really help bring a premium feel to the cockpit, and then also braided brake hoses, so some little upgrades there that should enhance the braking performance, as should the rear brake setup, which is pretty much entirely new. So Brembo caliper, wavy disc, and a new master cylinder. That master cylinder is attached to these Tarozzi rear sets. These give it much more of a cafe racer position. Your legs are going to be up higher, gives you better ground clearance and a more sporty riding position than the stock Monster. You've also got clip-on handlebars, which are going to get you lower at the front and help with that sporty riding position. And on the bars, you also get this Akasato quick turn throttle, which is going to give you a more lively throttle response. In terms of the electronics, you've got a Koso Speedo here, which is housed really neatly in that cockpit. And then also another neat touch is the Moto Gadget pin LED indicators, which are just on the underside of the fairing here. Moto Gadget blade LED indicators at the back as well, and I think using such discreet lighting really does help with that custom look. Now we've got an upgraded rear shock. This is a Nitron shock. I think it aesthetically adds a bit as well with that pop of blue. There's an airbox delete, a dyno jet kit for a bit more performance. But for me, one of the standout features is this 2-1-4, I think, exhaust system. Looks wise, it's one of the standout features of the bike, but also you want to hear that L-twin sort of blasting out to its full potential, and they certainly do that. Have a listen. So yeah, clearly a very special bike with a lot of attention to detail that's gone into it. But what's also cool is it was exhibited at the Bike Shed show in London. I actually remember seeing it there, and it was one of the standout bikes of the show. And the cool thing is they've actually still got the plaque which was next to the bike on the stand. That'll come with the bike, and it's a really nice little memento of the story of this bike. So look, if you're interested in winning this bike, like I say, there's a link down in the description, £10 a ticket, and it's limited to 1,650 tickets. Let us know if you've got any questions about the bike down in the comments, and best of luck with the draw.